We will begin a new era of soaring income, skyrocketing wealth, millions and millions of new jobs, and a booming middle class. We're going to boom like we've never boomed before. And we're going to unleash a manufacturing renaissance right here in Pennsylvania, including fracking like we've never fracked before. We're going to frack.
Former President Trump making his case to Pennsylvania voters as he rallies thousands of supporters at a historic rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 3 months after his first assassination attempt.
Our next guest was at the rally yesterday and in July. Pennsylvania GOP Congressman Dan Meuser joins us now. Congressman, you were at both. Give us a sense of what it was like to be there yesterday.
Well, great to be with you, Pete, Rachel, Will. Well, it was a lot of poignant moments. There was a lot of feelings, certainly of memories of July 13th. I had many that were there with me and others asking me what happened that day and where did it come from? Where were the shots? What did people do? Where was the president and so forth? So many moving moments. I mean, when the president even just flew in and did a couple of flybys, I mean, that set a stage that was already beginning with the great speakers that we were having prior. The speakers were not the typical congressional and rah-rahs. It was poignant speeches from the nurses and the law enforcement and Corey's family, Corey Comparator's family, who I sat with during the entirety of the president's presentation and speech. Tremendous amount of patriotism. Resolve. It really was one of an experience I will never forget. It was just such a great day. I wish everybody was there to experience such resolve and patriotism and tribute to, you can't say enough for Corey Comparator. The more you know about him and his family, I spoke with his daughters, his sister, his wife. I mean, just real sadness, yet appreciation for the tribute that was being paid. So it was really something.
Yeah, tell me more about the family. I mean, I can't imagine what they've been through. You sat next to them. What was their reactions to what was happening, to the way they were being honored and the way their loved one was being honored, Corey?
Yeah, they were listening. They would offer some of their feelings. Again, I mentioned appreciation. You could sense that, but real deep sadness at the same time. And they were listening intently. I mean, they were there for hours, right? I mean, they were there for to the very end. When Ave Marie came up, Rachel, you mentioned that a little bit earlier from Macchio. I mean, they were in tears. Most people there were. It was quite moving, compelling, strong, emotional. And I'll tell you what, President Trump just handled it so well, so graciously, such dignity and poise and respect. That's what yesterday was about. It was really about respect. I mean, the president bringing people together. He said he was going to come back day of on July 13th. He said to Butler, I'm going to be back. He felt that obligation. Many of us, and probably including myself, didn't think it was a good idea. It was a great idea. I mean, it showed America returning, right? Rising up to the occasion. You get knocked down, you get back up. And boy, oh boy, nothing was more symbolic of that than on July 13th when the president did get up, raised his fist, and those immortal words, iconic words, fight, fight, fight.
Well, Congressman, you heard the clip we played at the beginning of this segment. Donald Trump talking about the economy, specifically fracking in Pennsylvania. I'm curious, you're from the area, you know Pennsylvania, the importance to this election. What are you hearing from voters when it comes to not just this issue, but what they think and believe about his opponent, Kamala Harris?
Well, I'm very pleased that they're getting to know Kamala Harris in the manner she is. And that's, as of right now, it's a big con. She's a phony. Who she was before is who she's trying to make over now in order to get elected. She stated many, many, many times, and you've heard it, and just on the fracking issue, and there are so many policies that are contrary to who she claims she is today, but fracking in particular, literally 450 to 500 jobs in Pennsylvania, direct and indirect. She stated she was going to ban it. She stated she's going to prohibit it. We know they're going to overtax it and overregulate it to enormously minimize it. They've got as I tend to say, a gas backwards policy plan for Pennsylvania natural gas, literally choosing Venezuela over Pennsylvania, Russia over the United States of America. I mean, enriching these nations, enriching Iran. You know very well how backwards and contrary and how inverted this policy is. It runs contradictory to common sense, enriching our adversaries while minimizing the economy of the United States of America, and all the while we could do it more responsibly. You know, in the name of what? Climate change? I mean, absolute nonsense.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Well, Congressman, it's really great to have you here. We had Pete there as well, and everyone who seems to all agree that it was a moment they'll never forget.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Congressman.
Yeah, thank you all very much.
You got it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.